It's Travis Hunter, and I know you wrote an article. He came out and said he wants to play both wide receiver and cornerback. I'm not sure I'd let him do that. The Browns came out and said they view him as a wide receiver, which I thought was kind of interesting as well. Take us through the article and just your thoughts on him doing both.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. I think Hunter is only considered for the first or second pick in the draft or top five, wherever, because he can do both. Is a receiver by himself, I mean, he's really good and he's electric with the ball in his hands. I don't know if he's a top five pick. I would say the same at corner. He's really good at corner. I don't know if he's a top five pick, but when you combine those skills and the ability to play both sides, which he did at a crazy high level at Colorado, all of a sudden you're talking about a guy who could be a generational talent, a guy deserving of a top five pick. So I think any team that drafts him will have a plan to use him on both sides of the ball. Where the disconnect, let's call it, between the teams and Hunter is how much you use him on that second side of the ball. And to me, if you started him at corner, you could figure out a way to play him 15 or 20 snaps a game at receiver. That doesn't seem outlandish to me. It feels like you can coach a guy up for those 20 snaps. We see all the time the third and fourth receivers, that's how many snaps they play. So that doesn't feel kind of like out of the ordinary to me. Now, the other way, if you see him as a receiver, which Andrew Berry said they do because his ball skills are his superpower, it seems a little less likely to me to play him full time at receiver and then say, we're going to play 30 snaps at nickel. Like, you don't see a lot of guys where corner is their second job. So I think that's interesting. I don't know if that means the Browns wouldn't take him that high because they primarily see him as a receiver, and maybe there'd be less value in the subset of cornerback. But where Hunter said is, I can do both, and I want to do both full time. I did it at Colorado, and he and Pat Shermer, his coordinator on offense at Colorado, who I talked to last week, said things are slower in the NFL, and that doesn't mean the players aren't slower. The game is slower. There's less hurry up. The timeouts are longer. There's more timeouts where aerobically they both feel like Hunter could probably play both sides almost full time like he did in college, and it could be easier at the NFL level. So, I think you got to be careful about injury. He's not the biggest guy in the world. The contact, you're wearing your hamstrings down. It's a longer season, right? 17 games. I think all those are a factor where he's not going to play 60 snaps on both sides of the ball, but there probably is a happy medium to be found. And in order for him to be as valuable as a top five pick, I do think you have to find that combination offense defense.
Yeah, the physical nature of the NFL and you touched on it. I didn't see his exact weight. He was a little bit bigger than I thought he would be. In a football uniform, he looks kind of slender. He looked a little thicker than I thought he would be, but I worry about, again, Big 12 is just fine. It's not the NFL, it's not the SEC, it's not even the Big 10. 70 snaps, 60 snaps of NFL football, I don't see how anybody makes it through a full season these days.
Yeah, it's difficult. I think he might have weighed in at 188, which is
A little
I
bit
think
bigger,
was a
yeah.
good number for him.
Yeah, yeah,
But
absolutely.
let's say you're on offense and you catch 10 balls a game, right? Let's assume you're getting tackled 10 times. And then you're blocking. And then if you're playing corner, you got to come up and take on an offensive lineman. And then tackle a running back at full steam. So it's difficult. I do think it will have to be managed, but it's going to be he's going to play both. It's just a matter of how much and how teams work out that balance. And and I don't know. The Browns seeing him as a receiver kind of makes me think twice about how much they would use him at corner.